ba 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 ba. Okay, I don't know if I'm going. It says I'm live. It says I'm recording. It says I'm live. It says I'm recording. But do I really know? I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I would have to like check it on like another browser, right? That's probably the smart thing to do, just real quick to see if like it's even working. Because if it is, it'd be there, right? That's what I would expect. Oh, I do. I see it. So hey, all right. So I'm gonna like stop that and go back here. Ta-da! To keep the stream stable. Hey, hello. Happy Friday. Yeah, hey. So here I am in an old bedrock world. I deleted on accident my my other bedrock world that I've been working on for like this whole like episode. It was dumb. Like it was dumb. It was just stupid of me. I was just absent-minded. That's all it was. Just me being absent-minded and not having a backup, like a recent backup. Like it was just stupid of me. Like I needed better like management. So yeah, I'm pretty upset by it. It's a little tender. But that's okay because that in a way like well, good luck, bad luck, only Buddha knows because like they're gonna come out with a new update, right? That whole new update. Who knows what I'm gonna find when I make a new world? Like, cause right now the world's pretty flat. Like, I hate to say it, right? That's the mountain. Ooh, right. There's my gold farm, and there's the mountain. Like, it's like, really? Come on, guy. Come on, my gold farm is higher, is taller than this mountain, right? Like, how can it be? How can it be? But yet it is. So I'm making sure that everything is all right. CPU's all right. I have. Oh, let me check the GPU. Right? Oh yeah, it's chilling. It's like as if nothing's even going. So. But I want to continue my storytelling. I was like thinking about it last night and like or like today, and I'm like, man, I was telling a great story. I need to continue to tell my story. Continue to tell the story. Yeah. Huh. Hmm. Okay. So, let me continue the story. Where was I? I think on Thursday I was talking about the Magna Carta, how that came about, how 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 the power of the king was finally checked. It was finally checked by a document, by an agreement, and it was brokered by the church, but it was still like the first attempt to check the absolute power of a sovereign. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're checking the power of a sovereign, which is like, yeah, they didn't do that. I mean, I guess they did it in Rome, right? That was like the whole point of like the Republic. But I guess in the West, it was the first time in the West that they had done it. So the West. So so yeah. And then I connected it. Ooh, it's dark over here. But not really, because these are all lit up. It just doesn't show because of the shader. These are all pumpkins under here. And like if I don't do like the RTX, you can totally see it lights up everything. But yeah. um and then so I connected it to the United States, how they too created a document to check the power of the king, and basically like actually free themselves from the power of the king. I mean that's what it was, and they established themselves under a system that had no king. And that's pretty great, right? But when they did so, they never intended for that system to extend, I think, as far as it has. Like slowly putting things away. When the Declaration of Independence was written and the Constitution was created, with Articles of Confederation first. And then the first one failed. And then they went to the second one, which was the Constitution. And that one well, I mean, it was written not so that all the people would get a say, but only for the landowning gentry, which were white guys. And if you're a white guy but didn't own land, they didn't want to hear about you. They would count you for the House of Representatives, but they didn't really want to hear from you. They didn't really care what you thought, because generally, if like, it was written for aristocracy. It was written for an aristocracy. It was a way for it was like a mirror image of, or like a reflection of the Magna Carta, in that the Magna Carta was written not to like free the people, not for the goodwill of the serfs, right? They didn't care about the serfs at all. They didn't write the Magna Carta to help the serfs. They did it to help the nobles, the aristocracy, the barons, the lesser nobles, right? They weren't as strong as the king, right? So they banded together to see like, yo, king, you can't be like ragging on us all the time. You can't just be like wrecking us all the time. But it got away from them, right? The Magna Carta, it got away from them, from the aristocracy. And it kind of got baked in to their whole way of thinking, England. Right? It's like the basis of their law. It's basically the basis of their law. And incidentally, the basis of US law. Because US comes from that tradition, right? US started as a lot of the thinkers were influenced by Anglo thinking, British thinking, English thinking. What else can I say? I should go fishing. Go fish. Put stuff away first. Oh, that's right. I was gonna fix this. And then I'm like, nah, never mind. Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that. When I made it for actually, it wouldn't be that much work because it's already made. I already made it. And I only have to do like the second part of it. And that's not so, I mean, that wouldn't be so bad. But I'm not gonna stay here, guy. I'm making a new world, like a brand new world, because I want to see what it's like to start from brand new with the new stuff. Right? Because it's technically easier now, right? I don't necessarily need a gold farm ASAP, because it's easier to get gold, it's easier to get a bunch of other stuff. The way they do what's it called? The ore is different now. So you're not so dependent on a gold or an iron farm. Although it's nice to have an iron farm. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably something I would go for like as soon as possible. I would either need to steal villagers or go to the Nether to be able to make a potion and then get gold so I can cure a villager and then do it that way. The hard way, in other words. I can either like steal someone, like, or do it myself. And like the ethical thing would be to do it myself. But we're in a video game, like, come on. But we're storytelling, come on. So yeah. All right. Back to the story. So it got away from them, right? The idea, because when the aristocracy checked the power of the king in England, they used the church to back him up. But in the age of enlightenment, when the United States, or when the colonies broke free from England, they weren't relying upon a deity, a god, a church. They were using reason. So remember that story I told about Plato's allegory of the cave? Reason is symbolized by fire. The light of reason. And remember that story about Prometheus? Do you know who Prometheus is? Prometheus is a titan. So in ancient Greece, ancient Greek mythology, before the time of the Olympian gods, it was the time of the Titans. And the Titans, like, were terrible. And they were strong. But they were defeated by the Olympians. Zeus and so forth. And the Titans that helped them out, like, because some Titans like helped out the Olympians. So they were spared and they weren't like killed right away. So anyways, Olympians are in charge now, right? And then one Titan is hanging around and he sees the humans hanging out on Earth, and they are suffering. They're suffering. They're cold. They're miserable. They're like, they just hate life. Like, it's just awful for them, right? So Prometheus is moved by compassion to help the humans. So what does Prometheus do? He steals fire from the Olympians, from Zeus. He steals fire from Zeus and he gives it to the humans. And then now the humans can use the fire to like keep themselves warm and to make tools and to like cook their food and to scare away to ward away the dark and all sorts of good things, right? And so the humans are like, "Yay, Prometheus, thank you for helping us out." But then Zeus walks around and is like, and is like, "Oh, what are all these humans doing with this fire?" And then he looks over there, and there's Prometheus is all like, "Oh." And Zeus is big mad, and he takes Prometheus and he throws him on top of a mountain. and chains him up naked on top of a mountain. So he's freezing all night, freezing. And in the daytime, the sun rises. But when the sun rises, because he's naked and freezing on top of a mountain, chained there, he can't move, do nothing. A big, like, rock. It's basically an eagle, a giant eagle flies out of the heavens, lands with its talons on this guy, and just like starts ripping his guts out and eats his liver out, just eats the liver out, and then flies away. And then Prometheus is lying there, dying slowly from the gashes on him, and he's exposed to the sun and like the elements, and just, dying. And just as he's about to die, the sun goes down, and he comes and he's healed. And then he's freezing as he's healed. And then just as the warm sun comes up again, the eagle comes back and eats his guts again. It happens over and over and over again forever. That's his punishment for stealing fire and giving it to the humans. So, okay, you take that story and you combine it with Plato, right? Remember Plato's allegory of the cave? Like, real quick, Plato's allegory of the cave. Imagine there's a people stuck down in a cave forever, and they can't see nothing, right? They're chained. All they can see is the wall, but behind them is a big fire, but they can't see it because they're chained this way. All they can see are the shadows. There's no shadow here because I don't make a shadow, but if I could, I kind of have a shadow. Yeah, like they can't even see the light behind them because they're chained here. They're stuck, right? They can't go anywhere. They're like, oh, I'm stuck here forever. I'm chained, stuck looking at the shadow. If you're born that way, and you're born and you can't ever move, and all you're doing is looking at a shadow, you're going to believe that shadow is the world, is real life, is everything. You're not going to have any understanding of anything else other than that shadow. If that's all you can see and perceive, right? If that's all you can grasp, if that's all you ever see, that's all of course you're going to believe it. But imagine you can break free and you can look around. You're going to be like, oh my God, I've been chained up this whole time looking at a wall. And then you look back at the fire and you're like, oh, it's so bright, so bright. But then eventually you can, your eyes adjust and you can see it and see it's a big fire. And you're like, wow, that's cool. And with that fire, it lights up everything else so that it's not dark. So you can actually see what's going on. All right. So imagine that fire that's behind you that casts the shadows. That fire is the light of reason. It's not perfect. It makes shadows, right? It's not perfect. It can trick you. But you know what the alternative of shadows is? You know what the alternative of using reason? What happens if you don't use reason? You don't see nothing. You can't see nothing. You can't see nothing. Nothing's going on. You nothing. You don't see anything. Reason is not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And by that light of reason, you can see what's going on, where you are, and orient yourself. Okay. So, combine these two stories. Prometheus stole the light of reason, or stole the fire and gave it to the humans. Fire is the light by which humans can see in the dark cave. Fire represents reason. Right? The founders of the United States, the political entity known as the United States, used reason as the basis for their reason, for their justification. They used they couldn't use the divine, they couldn't claim divinity from the church Or because they didn't want to, right? I mean, like, because they're getting away from that. That was the whole point of Enlightenment, was to get away from the church. The church had stifled innovation for like 1,000 years because knowledge and innovation threatened the power of the church. So they didn't want people learning. They didn't want people having questioning. They didn't want any of that. So they stifled any kind of heretical ideas of like teachings different than the church that would usurp the power of the church and give it instead to who? To anyone who had a brain, anyone who could reason. The church didn't want that. But it happened anyways, right? That was the Enlightenment. That was the whole point of the Enlightenment. Was the return of reason, or like the age of reason, that you didn't need gods or deities or mystical things to justify stuff. Reasonable people can figure it out, and every human is reasonable. That's how we're going to live together. Not because we share the same God, but because we all share the capacity to reason and come to this and experience. We all experience the same world together. Therefore, if we communicate through reason, we can come to an agreement as rational human beings and live together. And when we live together in harmony and one another, we become greater than what we are separately. So when the founding fathers used reason to justify breaking away from the monarchy and establishing the political entity known as the United States, they intended it only to serve the aristocracy. But because they used the reason as their foundation, the fire of reason, it got away from them. Because necessarily, anyone who can reason then can access political power and access this system. And they never intended for regular people to access the system, only for the aristocracy, who would be educated to be elite. You see what I mean? They didn't want people to be educated to know what's going on, because they intended it only to serve the aristocracy. Because if you're educated, you have the light of reason. And if you have the and the light of reason isn't limited by your gender, by your religious beliefs, by your sexual preference, by your race, by your anything, by nothing. Like it's just reason, right? All humans have this reason. All humans have reason. So it's universal. It's universal. It's humankind. And that idea is like revolutionary. That idea is revolutionary. And it's exactly opposite of what the monarchists want you to believe, the fascists want you to believe. Because remember, they're all about the concentration of power. So they reject the ideas of enlightenment, of reason. Fascists and monarchists necessarily reject reason and science, because fascists only care about power. They can never accept reason, because if you accept reason, all of a sudden you're going to give your power away to anyone who has a brain. Like, you can say whatever BS you want, but a person with reason can come and dismantle your BS. And that person can be rich, they could be poor, they could be black, they could be white, they could be a woman, they could be a man, they could be trans. It doesn't matter, right? Anyone can do it. It's no longer just about you. There's something higher. You know, with reason, we can recognize that there's something higher than just me or you. We can see it. That's why I want to spread, we want to spread the light of reason to every single human being, so every single human being can partake in the political process, which collectively creates our reality. The fascists, they don't know. No, they can't know. Like, it's impossible for them to know. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. Because to even know would mean the destruction of their belief system. And yeah, sure, they could do it, right? They can, okay. Hey, here's another way of doing it. Hey, I like this. Y'all know Ayn Rand? Not Ayn Rand. What? Anne Rice. Anne Rice. There we go. Anne Rice. I haven't kept up. I haven't kept up on Anne Rice, the novelist who wrote Interview with a Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, and like Queen of the Damned and all that other. I didn't keep up with all of it, right? I think I read The Vampire Lestat, and that's it. I might have read Interview with a Vampire too. I don't think I saw the movie Vampire Lestat. I only saw Interview with a Vampire, then I read the 2 books, and that was it. And then I stopped. But in the Vampire Lestat, it gives Anne Rice gives a really interesting cosmology, like a theology, not like I don't know, how do you like a construct, a model, a theory, like a theological, yeah, that's it, theological model, a theological model of the way heaven and hell are structured. It's really interesting. It was really cool. I'm like, oh, that's neat. That's like, it's totally cool how she did it too, because she basically used Lestat as a vehicle to go be like, yo, everyone, let me tell you what I think about stuff. It was awesome. It was awesome. She just like, and she's like, here, he's just gonna go on this ride through stuff. Like, it was so cool. It was so cool. But, and I don't want to like, I don't. The point I was getting at is that there was a thing where I'm gonna like, okay, spoiler, right? Spoiler alert here. Like at the end of Vampire Lestat, I think so. He goes to heaven. He sees God. He goes to hell. He meets the devil, Lucifer, whatever. He goes both ways, right? He goes, checks it out, and then he comes back, and then he testifies. And when then when he testifies, he says, "Look, other vampires, here's the deal." like y'all thought that when you were converted to a vampire, that it was done. You're damned forever. You're done. It was over. And you're damned forever. So yeah, sure, you could live forever, but you're gonna be damned forever. You're never gonna know God, and right, and basically the stats like, and knowing God is like awesome. Even the stat will say so, like, because when he was in God's presence, the stat was like, ah. So so the stats like, yeah, you might have done some bad stuff as a vampire, but like, if you want to do it, if you want forgiveness, if you want redemption, it's there for you. You can do it if you want, or if you don't want, you can hang out, like Lestat did, and hang out here forever here, right? Of course, the alternative is like to go to hell, and the way hell was described was basically the same stuff that you did, the bad stuff that you did to other people, but done to yourself. Or not even done to yourself. Yeah, maybe was it done to yourself? The bad stuff you did to other people, but done to yourself, or something somehow. But the way to get out of it was to forgive. Like, it was to like, was basically be like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Okay, I see what I think I remember what it was. It was like the bad thing that happened to you got to do to other people until you forgave the people that did it to you. And it wasn't even about them. It was about you. But I don't remember how it went. And maybe that wasn't the way it went. Because why would you be in hell if bad stuff happened to you? I mean, if you did bad stuff to other people, I don't know. I don't remember how it went exactly. It's been a long time, right? I don't have any carrots here. I'll eat beef. I don't have rockets either. Okay. But anyways, he was telling vampires, yo guys, if you want to go back, if you want to go hang out with God, it's possible. It's possible. And so the next, and I mean, like, not out in, you know, he didn't say that out in the real world and stuff for everyone to see. He said it like on the underground vampire network. And the underground vampires, some of them were like, oh, all right, well then I'm gonna peace out. And so what do they, how do they peace out? How do they go check out, you know, hang out with God, or even try to have redemption? They went outside into the sun and were just consumed, because, you know, vampires can't go in the sun, right? So that's what they did. They're like, all right, I'm gonna go see God. And they just walked out into the sun and went, just evaporated, burned up. So yeah, over here, this, right? This is this part here was made by Brian. And I found out later on that he had major concerns for white people, and that he was real concerned about Muslims and Black Lives Matters being too mean to white people. And so I stopped hanging out with him. And I don't let him back on the server. Well, I mean, like, yeah, he's not on the server anymore, but he's the one who made this. And when he made it at first, I thought he was talking about the insurrection. And I wonder if he was talking in support of the insurrection. Like, because the insurrection is an attempt to go back to monarchy, away from the rule of law, away from democracy, and back to the rule of power, the king or the aristocracy, where it doesn't matter what your reason is. Reason doesn't matter. It's only about power. And I don't want to go back. That's the dark age. That's the darkness, right? When you have no light of reason and you can't see anything, it's dark. And the monsters spawn. Oh, don't go, dude, because I want to generate new stuff here eventually one day. The lights. I was drawn by the lights. Blinded by the light. Here's a creeper farm that no longer works because I have to replace all the buttons with trapdoors. And the buttons are stone. Ooh, I don't even have a beacon here. I haven't beaten the wither in this world yet. Ah ha ha ha. Dude, that means I mined up everything without a beacon. That's crazy. What was I thinking? No. I mean, look how much I mined without a beacon. For real. Look at this. I can't believe it. Are you serious? Whoa, I just like made a football field underground without a beacon. You're crazy, dog. All right. So yeah, okay. So it was never intended, right? For you and me. But like the Magna Carta, the way that got like incorporated into stuff, even though it was never intended to, or they tried to fight it, the king tried to fight it, the aristocracy tried to fight it. Like the rule of law slowly took hold. So yeah, the rule of law can be corrupted. Don't get me wrong, right? Like look at the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. That judge is super biased. It's ridiculous how biased that judge is. Like I can't believe there hasn't been a mistrial. It's so bad. That judge, and like what appalls me is that not that he's so bad. I mean, like, yeah, he's bad, but that he's probably not unique. There's probably judges like him all over the place that we don't even see. Like they're not on TV. But oh my gosh, that's an example of how racism is baked into our system. Like the judge himself is biased. Like, so I want to say rule of law, but do we have rule of law? I mean, look, some kid crossed state lines with an illegal gun, shot or killed 2 people, and shot some other guy's arm off. And there's a good chance he's going to get off with no punishment. Solely because he's white. And what is white? It's privileged. Solely because he's privileged. That's it, because he's privileged. That's not rule of law. That's rule of aristocracy. That's rule of power. That's something that we want to get rid of. That's un-American. Because American has to incorporate all of America, right? North and South. This continent is not the United States. This continent is all the Americans, the settlers and the indigenous, and everything mixed together. Right? We're all in this together, and we have to make something different. We have no choice. We have to combine. Basically, we have no choice. We have to combine. But we can't. We're not going to combine under fascism. We're not going to combine under a king. Our combining, our union has to be a thing of elegance, a thing of manliness. Well, maybe not manliness, but a thing of elegance, something special, something unique, a thing of beauty. And it has to be everyone. Everyone. Come as you are. Because that's democracy, right? So we're making something over here that hasn't been done before. Well, it's been done, but not like this. And it's going to get all of us together. All of our ideas. Settler and indigenous. I don't know very much indigenous ideas, so I can't really represent them. I can't do it. Like, if someone wants to come on my show or make a show with me, I'm all about it. Like an indigenous person wants to make a show with me, a Minecraft show with me, like I would be about it, and they can talk about that side. That'd be great. But I can't really do it because I'm not from there, right? I mean, like, I live here, but I don't know any of it. But I do know the I know why we started. I know why the Western project, this idea. I know I know the point of the idea, and it's liberation for everyone. Yeah, they want to go backwards. They don't want people to know. That's why they attack education. they passed a law somewhere. Okay, so critical race theory teaches you that racism is baked into the legal system, and a state passed a law saying it's illegal to talk about how the state bakes racism into the law. Basically, it's a racist law. It bakes racism into the law. So by saying it's forbidden to talk about how it bakes racism into the law. Like, because it's, it can't stand scrutiny, right? It can't stand the light of reason. It can't stand the light. If you put a light up to it, it falls apart. So they don't want the light to shine on it. So they say, no, you can't ever shine a light on it. Never. No light shining, they say. You can't use your light of reason. No, we won't let you. Because if you did, you'd see how ugly it is. And it is. It's ugly. Your law that bans critical race theory, that's an ugly law. That's not a reflection of truth. Right? Laws are supposed to be a reflection of truth. The closest approximation to truth that we can muster as humans. That's the point of the law, is to make a close approximation of the truth. But a law that looks and we can judge it by using reason. That's how we know if a law is good or bad. We use reason. Right? Everyone has reason, so everyone can look to see if this law is good or bad. So you pass this law that says it's illegal to talk about how racism is baked into the law. You say that's a bad law. Everyone can look at it, use their reason, be like, yo, that's a stupid law. You can't tell people what to say or think. Like, especially when it's true, particularly when it's true, especially when it's true. Of course you can say it if it's true. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look how flat this all is. I'm telling you, you don't even know, but this is flat. Flat, flat, flat. All of this is flat. That is ugly, but whatever. That's cool. Check it out. It's cool. Oh, it's what I made? Yeah, because it's cool. This was my first attempt right there, and I had a lot of space, so it was easy. On my other one, on the Java one, I didn't have enough room, so I had to just use initials. Okay. So we understand that we're in a big project right now. Huge project. We're trying to liberate all the humans. They didn't intend it, but it got away from them. The fire got away from them. We didn't start the fire. But yeah, so it got away from them, and now they're trying to stamp it out. They're trying to stamp it out all over the place. They don't want people to. They're trying to get. They're trying to get people to take their kids out of school and send them to homeschool or to a private school. Well, I don't know about you, but I was, my mom went to high school, and if she were to homeschool me, I don't believe I would have gotten a great education. Not to be mean to my mom, right? But she's not a teacher, and it's not like a curriculum with a set of ideas that people have spent years doing it. They're not professionals. So I'm glad I was educated in the public system, and I'm glad the public system exists for me to be educated in. And I want to improve the public education system, because the more people that can use the light of reason, the better off we as a nation are. We're better off with people who can reason. When people can reason, they don't fall into conspiracy traps like QAnon. Right? It's easy to reason your way out of QAnon. Yeah, people who follow QAnon did not reason their way into it. They're not reasonable. They're not reasonable people. You can't reason with them. But if they were well, I mean, I guess there are educated people who are sucked in the conspiracy. I guess there are people who are like that. I don't really quite understand. I'm not an expert on conspiratorial thinking, so I can't really say. I'm sure, but there's got to be, I would hope that critical thinking could inoculate a person from conspiratorial thinking, such as QAnon or like anti-Semitism. So yeah. Now, well, yeah. So now, because it comes to a conflict, right? Now it's coming to a conflict, because like there's only like oil is not sustainable. We got to get off of oil. But fascists want to stay on oil. Those fascists include Putin. That's why Tucker Carlson is on the side of Russia. Russia right now is threatening to invade Ukraine, start a war basically. And and Russia is threatening to invade Poland. And they want to do it the same way that they invaded Ukraine. Because little did I know, there's a tiny country called like Kronstadt or something, like that's detached from Russia and attached to the Baltic Sea. It's a little tiny foothold for Russia to like claim. And they're pushing migrants, they're pushing refugees who are fleeing Belarus, because Belarus is like, it had free and fair election, or it had an election, and the winner of the election was a guy named Navalny. He won the election, and he wanted to go closer to the EU, but Putin didn't want Navalny to win, so he used his puppet to stage a coup, overthrow the democracy, and install a puppet regime that's loyal to Putin. And so, of course, the people, brutal crackdown. So the people are fleeing, right? They're trying to flee. Well, the forces of Putin are pushing and herding the refugees towards Kronstadt, against Poland, and because Poland stands in the way, and Poland and Lithuania, it's like a triple border between Poland and Lithuania, and I think Lithuania, I forget which other one, Finland, I don't know what else, I think it's Finland maybe, and Kronstadt. And what Russia is hoping to do is through Belarus cause a problem to invade and seize land that's in between Kronstadt and Belarus, to basically make a corridor. You know what I mean? The way they took Crimea, the same way they took Crimea, they want to take a bunch of land and reconnect Kronstadt with Russia. That's what they're pressuring. I don't know if they're actually going to do it, because that would start a war. That would basically, the United States would be obligated to by NATO to go to war. We're going to war against Russia, if that's what happens. Same thing in Russia and Ukraine, though, because Russia is also moving Ukraine. Russia might be doing this just to like shore up their own internal stuff, or to distract, right? Because it's because Bannon just got indicted, and the noose is tightening on Trump, who staged the coup, right? Remember what I was talking about. Trump worked with Russia to stage the coup in 2016 to overthrow the United States, and it got messed up when he didn't win the election again. And when he's indicted, he's gonna like spill all the beans. When Trump goes down, all the connections are gonna get released. So I guess like Putin's trying to like saber rattle to keep his people in check, to distract from what's going on. Trump tried, like the Republicans are trying to overthrow the government, the United States. They're the Confederacy. They're white supremacy. And we have, the Americans, the United States, the Unionists, we have to overthrow them. We have to get them out. They're not wanted here. So yeah, let's see. I need 2 more. Oh. Yeah. If I'm not gonna play this world again, I'm just walking around. I mean, I don't know why not, but I just want to build a new world. I mean, I guess I could. Yeah. I don't know. We shall see. Kind of want a new world. Well, why though? Like it's already made. I don't have to do any of the hard stuff, right? Over here is my janky village trading hall. I have a trading hall here. It's not really finished. I need to work on it more, but it's like mostly done. And then I can fix this gold farm. And then my iron farm sounds like it's not working anymore. So I can fix my iron farm. That's just a bunch of work. Oh no, 6, 7. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working. Hey, it's working. It's working. I don't need that second layer anymore. So I can like change that up. If I take out the second layer here, I can basically I just make a bunch of room. I don't need this here. Yay! Because they always appear up there. All these guys are floating. See, this one's the hard one. I did a lot of work to get this one going. Because they're all floating. I had to like put them in. I had to break all the beds. Or put all the beds on. Yeah, this is like the hardcore one. Not hardcore, but like hard, difficult. Okay, where am I at here? Time. I need a like AFK screen. Be right back. I don't want to explore, right? Because if I explore, then I mess up stuff. Is there a bed down there so I can sleep? No bed. Oh yeah, I have a bed on me. I have a bed on me right here.
Bed is too far away. Bed is too far away. Respawn point set. You can only sleep at night.
Okay.
You can only sleep at night.
Oh no.
You can only sleep at night.
Hey, what's up?
You can only sleep at night.
Really?
You can only sleep at night.
What's up?
You can only sleep at night.
Hey. Oh, stop. I was gonna make a song out of it. You can only sleep at night. 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 Oh, don't go too far. Don't go too far. Poppies. Poppies everywhere. Basically, this village like got massacred by a raid, so it's empty. It's like nothing here. Nobody there. And I did these guys the hard way. Like I didn't know you could use a piston to yeah. And they're all expensive as heck. Because I haven't set up the system where you can like cure them and I haven't set up the system where you can cure them and whatever. Zombify them again. So it's a pretty janky system. It's like not very good. But whatever, it works ish, kinda. I mean it works. I just need to it's expensive. And I don't want to have to do it again. Because what's the fun in that? But then again, maybe that is fun. Who knows? I kind of like flying around though, right? Hey, cool. What else do I want to talk about? Man, I forgot. Well, I've been going for like an hour straight. I should probably take a break. Because who does that? No one does that. In real life, like in showbiz, dude, people don't go like hours straight. I mean, I guess if you're on stage, like with a set, but then you got a set, right? Like I didn't come into this with a set. I came to this like, hey, I've been thinking. I don't know. I think if people have the story, if they have like you know, the story, if they know what's, I don't know. I don't know. If people have the story, then they can make rational choices. Like, I'm all about people getting free. Britney, free Britney, right? Prison Bannon, free Britney. Oh yeah. Well, anyways. Oh, okay. Yeah, because we got to keep it going. And part of keeping it going is taking care of the environment. Obviously, because it is us. Yeah, I need a new world. That's All right. Well, let's see. I've been going for an hour-ish. I think I will call it. I'll call it. And I'll have to figure out more content somewhere else. Okay. I'll check you out later. Pogo Kiddo out. Peace. Stop.